I think that's why the passport bro movement has exploded so much because of that barrier to entry. The barrier to entry to dating in a foreign developing country is all the way over here versus in London or New York or Los Angeles or Miami. It's all the way up here, and you up there with the big boys. You want to bamba, you want to jam with the big boys.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
But a couple things I want to talk about, man, because the UK, I've always been so interested in talking about England in particular, man, because I've never talked about it on my channel like that. But a couple misconceptions that people from the outside don't know about England is extremely, especially London, extremely diverse.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that. They think that everyone out there is just white,
White people are the minority in London.
White people are the minority?
In London, yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I didn't think that. Wow.
That's why they're all protesting right now. Like there's it's not really, I wouldn't know. In regards to racism, right? People would say that London is racist, right? Me, my whole life growing up, I've never experienced racism. Like outside of like just banter and jokes in school, you're black. Like that's pretty much like the extent to the racism that I've experienced from London. Like, but there's a lot of hatred towards immigrants and they're taking our jobs, they're doing this, they're doing that. But honestly, it's just more little things like that just cause divide amongst the people for no reason. Because London is extremely diverse. Like if you go London, whatever culture that you are, whatever background that you are, no matter how small that you think your community is, there is a massive thriving community somewhere in London for your race, and then the people are accepting of it. Like you've got it's because it's so, maybe people have like a deep down inherent feeling of tribalism and racism, but if you go to these areas that are diverse, the people there, the white people there, the black people there, the Asian people there, the Indian people there, we all kind of mesh into Londoners. We're all Londoners. We all have a similar accent. We all have similar banter. We all laugh at similar jokes. We kind of bond over the same things. Football comes around, World Cups comes around, summer comes around, and it's a vibe. Summer in the UK is a vibe. It's like the whole country kind of is like it's not that bad. It's like the sun's out, let's go out. Let's go party. Let's go to a day party. Let's go to there's the beach there, let's connect, everyone's let's go play some football, let's put our differences aside, let's play some football. But as soon as it starts getting cold again, this country shit, get me out. Yeah, so it literally, that's just what it is every single year. It will be like summer is the only worthwhile time to be in the UK. That's when UK is not that bad, during the summer. But as soon as September hits, you better grab your jacket or get a flight out, because for the rest of the year and for the rest of next year until July, like literally even June and July, it still rains. You get August. Yeah, August is the peak of summer. As you get the least rainfall. That's where Notting Hill Carnival is. Notting Hill Carnival is a huge.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Exactly, like it happens, and then it's all during the summer. That's when you appreciate. That's when I go back to London personally and see my family. Is during the summer.
I heard the carnival over there is wild.
It's wild. It's just it's ghetto. That's it. It's just if you like carnival, if you like parties, if you like African Caribbean culture, if you like all culture, like it's a celebration of all culture. There's like a divide, there's a big divide about like carnival is only for the Caribbean people, like it's Caribbean culture. Anyone can come, come, but you shouldn't have a British flag at carnival. You shouldn't have a Nigerian flag at carnival. Why am I seeing all these African flags? And I think that is so silly to want to gatekeep a massive cultural event like that, because at the end of the day, like, yes, it started off as Caribbean origin. Things change, not change, but adaptation. That's the whole point of humans. Like, we are in a civilization, we are social creatures. Things are like the meanings of things are going to change to different people, and that's fine. It's a celebration of that. And yeah, like you're gonna definitely, if you're someone that wants to go to London, go during August. Go when it's actually got good weather, when you can actually go outside and enjoy yourself. Otherwise, it's just going to be grey and cloudy and raining, and then go to Carnival. Free. Maybe when you're watching this, it's not going to be free anymore. Like the government are trying to like make it a paid event, but for now, it's free. And you're gonna it's amazing. You're gonna like the sounds, the music, the vibes, the people. Everyone's just turning up. Everyone is a massive. The entire of Notting Hill is just active, popping. Like, and it's not even dangerous. It's not dangerous. Like, obviously, if you go with your phone, if you're just walking out with your phone in London, it's gonna get snatched. Just like with
Really?
yeah.
They do that a lot on
They
in
do.
London?
They've perfected it. They have perfected the craft.
Worse, not to mention Rio, but worse than Rio.
I would say it's about the same, if not worse.
My God, nah, that's not good. That's definitely not good.
Like, it's a joke. Like, if you go on TikTok, right, it happens multiple times. Like, I will see multiple videos a day of people talking about how they got their phone robbed, and it's like literally you pull it out for a second, yoink. Like, they'll go on an electric bike. On an electric bike, they'll just take it. Like, don't use it. It's been so bad that they've had to like put warnings on the ground in certain areas of central London, like beware of thieves, like they're gonna grab your phone. So yeah, like, just if you're in London, specifically London, just don't even bother pulling out your phone. Like, or if you're gonna pull it, if you must pull it out, go against it. This is what I do. I go against the wall. I'll grab it like this. And I'll look at it like this. I'll put it back in my pocket. I'll keep it stepping. Like, that's it. Like, literally. So you can watch videos and montages and compilations on YouTube of like phone snatches. It's just so smooth and clean. You ain't just on an electric bike, and there's nothing you can do there on an electric bike, mate. They're gone.
Damn, I did not know that, man. I honestly didn't know that because here in the States, we don't really got to worry about that as much. And I thought it would be the same in London. But one thing I was always like told about when it came to London, because over there, I would assume the gun laws are very strict.
Yeah.
So what I was told about London specifically is there's a big like shank culture over there. How true is that? Like,
well, I wouldn't say it's a big part of the culture. It's part of the culture of being from a rough area, of being in an area that is infiltrated with gangs, and guns are still on the streets. They're a lot more expensive, and they're a lot rarer. They still exist, but in regards to the gang violence that's occurring, because the guns aren't readily available, it's knives. That's the next weapon. So and then in regards to the culture, like with drill music, it's part of obviously it's part of the drill music because it's part of that lifestyle. So I've never seen a knife. I've never been threatened with one. I've never been. The worst that's happened to me is I was pickpocketed in Mexico. That's it. So it's like I've not seen I've not seen any violence. I've not seen any of it, but I've heard stories, and because it's the proximity to literally black people getting stabbed consistently like all races of people. But I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot of melanated men, young boys, teenagers that go out with knives. They've got no choice because everyone else has a knife, and it's really sad. It's really upsetting, but that's just the reality of growing up in areas that are marginalized by various different red tape, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask. I was just very curious about it, because I was told by multiple people that out there in the rough neighborhoods is like over here in the United States is all guns. It's guns.
Everybody got a gun. Nigga, you got it right.
Everyone got guns out here. Which is why we have so many mass shootings, a lot of craziness that goes on over here. Over there, I heard it's the opposite. Over there, yeah, guns do exist, but it's more of knives and pocket knives, things like that. So I was always very curious about that. But also another question I wanted to ask you, Saint J, is what team do you support, man? What's your football club?
I'll be real. Like, growing up, I never really watched football like that. Like, I don't really care for it.
I had to ask, man, because if you were an Arsenal fan, man, we would have to stop this interview right now.
Well, you like football.
I love football.
You support Chelsea.
I support. Well, my English team is Man United, so that's why I don't like Arsenal. But yeah, Man United is my English team. I've been watching it for years now. They've sucked for a very long time now. and Sir Alex Ferguson. But you know, I still watch them. You know, hopefully with Amarim they get better.
I would say that dating is completely different, right? So you're gonna see some of the most beautiful women. Period. Like you're gonna see some of the most beautiful women in the world from every single culture. Because as I mentioned, it's a melting pot. However, it's the competition is significantly
Yeah,
higher, obviously, and it's like
yeah,
because they've got like if you're a pretty girl in London, so long as you just post occasionally on social media, you're gonna have the exact same access to all of the rappers, all of the footballers, all of the celebrities, all of the millionaires that go to these nice areas. Like they're gonna be DMing you. Everyone in London kind of knows everyone, right? So it's like when you're in London and you're trying to date, you're dating a woman who literally has multiple famous people in her DMs. Like multiple girls have shown me when I was dating in London, and then when you are dating in London, because when you're dating is like it's I see it as not a waste of time, but if you're not trying to get married, it's a waste of time. Like if you're not trying to get married, realistically, it's just your turn, and in order for your turn to be facilitated, you got to spend some money. You need to go out. You need to go to a bar. You need to go to a restaurant. You need to buy this. You need to buy that. You need to buy an Uber. You need to. And when you're doing that in London, minimum that you're spending is $150 on a night, just to see another human, and then it just becomes this it's not 100% transactional. You can find genuine people there, but the barrier to doing it and dating is quite high. If you're broke, you can't date. Like now when you go abroad, right, you can obviously you still got to take them out, you still got to go restaurants, but instead of paying 150, it's like 12. It's literally $12. Get some, you can go to a decent restaurant, get some, get if you want to get drinks, maybe it's an additional $5 or $7 or $10. Cool, and you can have the exact same dating experience. You can go to the beach, like you're in a nicer area, like there's mountains in the background. Way more chill, way less competition, and it's just like okay, now it's like dating is more like I would say you get access to more diversification of women that speak English in London, obviously. But when you just go to the individual countries that they're from anyway, and you can just pick, I think that's why the passport bro movement has exploded so much because of that barrier to entry. The barrier to entry to dating in a foreign developing country is all the way over here versus in London or New York or Los Angeles or Miami. It's all the way up here, and you up there with the big boys. You want to bamba, you want to jam with the big boys. So it's like, all right, cool. Like with that being said, it's like that's another part of traveling. There's that nuance. Is dating, and then what else is there about the UK? There's not much. It's not a fascinating place. It's just outside of the weather being shit, people being not the most. They're not the most friendliest people. The food is mediocre. It doesn't even really. They don't even really have a cultural food. It's just fish and chips. But in regards to the melting pot and of the diaspora that go there and they introduce their food to it, that's what's a plus there. So yeah.
I want to comment on a couple things you said. I want to comment about the food take that you had first, because you see, sometimes as a content creator, like sometimes I say things and then I think about it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, I should have never said that. You know what I mean? So there have been things I've said in the past that have offended people. But one thing I realized about English people in particular, like for example, I was in Rome with friends, and I was talking to them about food around the world that I've tried out, and I happened to try out English food when I was in England for that layover, and I had told them straight up that I did not like English food. I thought it was trash.
Yeah,
And
it is.
there was this English couple across from me that turned around. They heard what I said, and I thought they were going to confront me about that.
Like, yeah,
But
you're
instead
right.
of them confronting me, they actually agreed. They're like, you know what? You're right, mate. I was like, oh shit. Yo, English people are funny, man. I think you guys are some of the most funniest people on the planet. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the dating take, because this is one thing that I've always stood on, and I don't know if you're going to disagree with it, Jay, but I think England, well, I don't know too much about England, but I would put England there. England, the United States, for example, these Western countries, we don't have bad looking women in our countries. Like, for example, the United States have some of the most beautiful women on the planet. In fact, I think the United States is definitely up there. I'm sure England is up there as well. With the amount of diversity we have everyone from everywhere in our
Mhm.
countries. But I think the key is what you said, because the problem is, sure, we have some of the most attractive women on the planet, but it's the access to these attractive women. Like, in order for you to access them, in order for you to actually hang out with them and create something serious with them, it's going to require so much investment, so much money. They have access to these footballers, they have access to athletes, rappers, you name them, politicians. So for you to have access and actually date one of these girls is going to be very hard. The competition is stiff,
Mm.
which is why, like you said, this passport bro movement is big now, because people are watching these videos and they're seeing these guys with these beautiful women. And they're like, yo, why not just go to Brazil? Why not just go to Colombia, Mexico, wherever else, and get myself a dime? And if we do go out, it'll only be a couple bucks and it'll be the best time. And sometimes, Jay, like, for example, when I was in Brazil, I had met this one girl, I think my second day in Rio, and I didn't even really have to take her on a date like that. We literally just went to get an agua de coco,
Yeah.
sat on the beach, and it was one of the best times
One of the
ever.
best, yeah, like it's wholesome, and it's like if you speak
Hmm.
Portuguese, it's even more. And I would say, like, but do you know what it is? It's the mind. It's like they're the most beautiful, externally, but the mind is that crabs in that copy and paste, copy and
Hmm.
paste, copy and paste, and it's like the UK now are starting to copy and paste America. Like it's been slow. It's been this slow but sure, gradual adaptation of that American culture, and UK girls are like they have the same jokes, they have the same
Hmm.
memes and mannerisms. I'm not gonna do them because they're quite much like you, but you know what it is like the clock it meme, etc., etc., etc. Like they behave, they listen to the same music, they have the same attitudes towards dating the men and like etc., etc., etc. And that mentality is just it's the biggest turnoff. It's just so unattractive. Like, and it's just like, all right, like you can't really fight it. It is what it is. But it's just like, damn, like every goal, like finding a goal that is outside of that is that is melanated or that is from one of these countries, that is from London, that grew up in London, that doesn't have this mentality, that doesn't listen to these music artists, that doesn't have these perspectives. It's very difficult, right? So there's that as well. And then in regards to with dating them and the barrier to entry being higher, don't get it twisted. You can still, obviously, this isn't 100% of women in the UK, period, but it's the majority of them. It's just a waste of time. Like, it's literally like, how do you even do it in the first place? You go on, all right, cool. You go on Tinder, you go on Hinge, you start swiping. If good luck finding a match, if you're an average dude, they've done experiments and tests on this. Like, have you seen them videos where it's like I swiped a million times and got zero matches?
Hmm.
It's difficult. But let's say that you match, you find a girl, you message her. All right, now you need to be interesting. Now you need to chat to her. Now you need to stimulate the conversation via text. Oh no, you don't call her because that's too fast. Don't ask to meet her too soon because that's too fast. You'll scare her away. You need to text her and be entertaining over text for days. No, because you can't meet. You can't, like, she's busy. You can't meet her straight away. You need to, for at least a week. You need to get to know her, and then okay, cool, date. You gotta pay for the Uber, pay for the food. Minor, that's calm. That's standard. Bare minimum. No matter what country that you're in, paying for it. That's a given. That's fair enough. Like, it is what it is. Calm. Let me meet you. And then it's like, okay, the vibe ain't really there. You're boring. You've got a same copy and paste mentality. You ain't really got a personality like that. I don't really like the whole hot girl, city girl vibes that you're giving off. It is what it is. Fair enough. We're adults. You're not gonna fall in love with 100% of the people that you meet. That's fair enough. But bro, like, I've just spent what, for 2 weeks speaking to you. I liked your exterior. Obviously I've spent a bit of money on you. Spent like £200 on you. Maybe I've dated you a couple times, and it doesn't work out. Obviously, like, as a man, like, we date women, and it doesn't work out with the majority of them. However, with that much that's got into it, just to realize that you're not compatible, bro, like that, bro. When you're in Brazil, when you're in Colombia, when you're in Mexico, when you're in, Thailand, when you're in Bali, all of that, like you can get that, you can get all of that BS is condensed to this period of like 3 days. To the period of like 3 days, you text them, hey, do you want to come for drinks tonight, 9 p.m.? I'm a bit busy today. Let's do tomorrow. Sweet. The whole day, you'll spend $30. And it's like, hey, I really enjoyed our time. See you tomorrow. Cool. It's just so much more. Just like I'm busy. Like I've got a business. I've got meetings. I don't want to text you. I've never liked texting back and forth, and this need to.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what it is. Like, but it's like every single goal. It's like when you try and meet them soon, it's like, oh no, I want to get to know you a bit more. It's fair enough. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do it. But it's like, damn, now I've got to wait for you to reply. I've got to think about the reply. I've got, oh, you haven't replied yet. Cool, move on. You're ghosting next. I was like, oh, fuck's sake, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know. Maybe you can relate. I don't know.
I know I could relate, bro, because again, it's crazy how the UK or England and the United States are so similar. That's exactly what goes on over here too. Word for word, 100%. It's like you struggle to match, and then when you do match, you struggle just to get a response back from them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like sometimes you might hit them up, they may not respond to
Yeah.
you. Back to square one. You swipe a million
Square
times.
one.
yeah, exactly. Back to square one. You start like swiping on a million girls,
and then
finally
trying to know what it is. You just get to a point where you're just like, bro, this is not worth it.
It's fatigue.
Fuck this, yeah. And then you stop doing it,
Yeah.
and then now you'll be single for 5 years, and then 5 years will go by. You'll be single. You're not gonna date anybody because in London, yeah. Because again, like everyone's got their friendship groups. Like if you aren't going out like to like events that you got to pay money for to get in, like if you're not driving around, if you're not going to these like, if you're not making an effort to put yourself out there, you are not going to see anyone. No, like your phone will be dry. You're not going to go out, and you're not going to bump, like, because as well, another thing as well, yeah, is that when you're in these places, yeah, day game, like cold approach, yeah, cold approach is so much easier in Colombia if you go to the mall, because that's where they are. If you in Brazil, if you go to the beach, that's where they are. In London, in my town where I live, yeah, I can go to the gym, I can go to the mall, I can go to the shopping place, I can go to the grocery store, I can go to all of these places every single day. I'm not seeing anybody because I live in a small town. I'm seeing the same people that I saw yesterday. I'm seeing an older demographic. I'm seeing like black people they're not really, well, actually it's significantly increasing. Like the amount of black people is significantly skyrocketing in every single area in the United Kingdom, which is great. But it's like, yeah, the access, the availability to them. And then when you finally find a woman that's your type in the high street and you approach her, it's like she's rare, it's like she's rare. It's like you don't really bump into girls that are like that unless you're in central London, unless you go to an event, or unless you go to like a party, unless you go to central London. But I don't live in central London. I live on the outskirts of London. So there's that. But over here, bro, like if I walk outside of my door and walk on the street, I'm gonna see boy. And it's, yeah, man, it's a different reality, bro.
Like they say in Portuguese, muitas gostosas.
Caralho.